Hi everyone, welcome to round 3 of the Irish Summer Cup. So things are getting heated. We have on board one very classical classic of the Irish scene. So James versus Matei. And James is former Irish champion, very regular two dan, and part of the Irish team in the European Cup. Matei is one dan, but he's current Irish champion, and I think he was already last year. So these two players are really used to meeting themselves. And I would say, pressure is more on James because Matei won probably their 3 or 4 last encounters. So basically, James has a revenge to take. So that will be an interesting game. On board 2 that we will be reviewing slightly later is an exciting game too. So we have Gavin Rooney, who is 3 dan, playing Peter, who is 3Q, so it looks slightly unbalanced, but Peter is serious opponent, so surprises could be at the corner. So let's see what happens. Let me just go on the stream so that I can see the chat. Okay. And let's start. So I have my review here. So James is black and Matty is white. So I usually say, but I think it's becoming less and less true that James likes territory and Matei likes fighting. But I think recently James was more and more into the fighting too. So I guess I cannot describe his style anymore as a territorial one. And usually Matei can have a weak point in the Fuseki, so I think James will try to get an edge in the early stage of the game. But again, this might not be true anymore. So whatever, we'll look at this game with fresh eyes. So I saw just these moves and I saw that James played them very quickly. So either it was a prepared Fuseki for James because he wanted to do that and he prepared something, or he played it in the spur of the moment and he kind of wanted to have fun with Sanrensei. So that's really interesting because we don't see so many Sanrensei nowadays. I guess one of the specificity of the Sanrensei is that you don't have too many, I would say, Joseki in the corners. It's like it's quite simple in terms of local fights, and it's more complex in terms of global judgment, like how to handle a moyo, how to use the thickness or the strength that you build in the center. So James obviously want to play an attacking game or a game where he will develop influence and then chase white. So that would be very interesting to have his feedback on why he decided to go for that. But he must feel really comfortable about that today. So that will probably lead to a game with a lot of fight, or at least at some point a weak white group maybe being chased. Let's see. Okay, so P15 is super unusual. So of course in this position now you can have this kind of pincer or this kind of pincer. So if you go for this kind of pincer with the stone at D17, white can even try to go out and fight, but otherwise the modern Joseki would be something like that. So that's the new. And usually white tenukis at this stage. The whole point is to tenuki. I don't think just this. And from there, white can play elsewhere. So there is a way for white to take back Sente in the past. I would say usually white would play something like that, and black could consider maybe Tenu playing elsewhere. So in the new variations, white pushes and gets Sente. Of course, there is a drawback to that, which is the fact that black can take that. It's not 100% Sante, so that's why white can do that. Otherwise, that would be really bad. But even if white play elsewhere, I think there is just a core or something. Like, I can't remember the exact sequence, but I'm pretty sure there is a core. Maybe something like that. Anyway, so I don't know the sequence, so I won't show it, but this is not dead. This is probably at least alive, or maybe with a black stone here, it becomes a core, something like that. But white can definitely skip once, so he got Sante. Anyway, obviously black didn't like that. Playing this way is possible, of course, or kick. Maybe it's a bit strange with the Sanrensei, but p15 is quite unusual. So I think the sequence is something like that. And here again, black can tenuki. Of course, this is big, but this is gote. So black can play elsewhere. I don't know if there is any other sequence. You would very, very rarely see that because the shape is a bit awkward. Of course, you can try this and you can go for a core or something like that, but it seems that the stone at p15 is a bit weird if you do that. So actually in the game, black blocks and white pushes. Okay, so that's interesting. I know this variation. So push is not Joseki from what I know of. Of course, I don't know about, I would say, AI stuff, but it was not in the past in my knowledge of the Joseki. So what is the way to answer that? I guess if you answer this, maybe this is just enough. But yeah, the shape is a bit awkward when you play there, which means that maybe you just play here and wait for an opportunity to play there. That would be a bit painful now. So of course, black doesn't want to play here. But it seems like a bad result for white. So I wonder if white plays here, maybe. Maybe there. Oh. So the problem, of course, is this move. Like, it's super painful move. It looks bad. Actually, that's what happened in the game. So, and black connects this way. So I don't know. The shape looks. That's why p15 is probably not played a lot because it's not so easy to know how to handle the shape. So if white play here, you can always protect, of course, or play here very safe. I'm just comparing to this Joseki, basically where black would extend and white would jump. Oops. So you can see we are getting close to this variation. So if we compare the two, okay, and white play here. So basically, if black blocks, we are exactly in the same variation where black played one first, and then white invaded at the Sansan at two. Pretty much the same, except that black played p15 instead of q15 and lost Sante. So that seems a bit weird. So I think black must play elsewhere now. But the shape, yeah, so black plays elsewhere. The shape is not great, but there is no obvious weaknesses. White must play here to create the weaknesses, and in that case, it's not so bad for black. So probably pretty even if the shape looks a bit weird for black. He got nice thickness, and the stone at 0.17 is definitely damaged because this is not really a weak point. So interesting. I would be interested to know the AI opinion about this. Hey, Engine, how are you doing? Sorry, I have difficulties reviewing and checking the chat at the same time. I didn't find a cool way to get a live view of the Twitch chat on my Streamlabs. I don't know why. It always has synchronization problems, so I just have to keep an eye on the chat on the side, which is not so good. Feel free to react to the review engine if you have questions or if you disagree with some of the things I'm saying. So, okay, so black gets what he wants, which is Sente and the opportunity to play a big point to extend the influence of the Sensei. So I think up to now, black is playing according to plan, and white is saying, I don't mind, I'll take all the territory. So that's clearly a mental fight. So, okay. Ooh, that's so rare to see S4 plates. I don't think it's a very good idea because, of course, you can say black is a bit over concentrated, but he's also super thick. So, of course, he lost Sante. He's a bit over concentrated, but now it's basically transforming slowly from a Moyo to a territory. So, at least this area will be nearly impossible to invade at some stage, and even this one becomes quite difficult to invade. So we can say there is around 20 points of solid territory for black here, even if he is over concentrated. That's not so bad, I guess. Well, another option is to play just this, for example, just to give a bit more space for an invasion later on. And I guess the other option, of course, is to push, because if black answers, white is alive and can play elsewhere. And if black doesn't answer and play elsewhere, then later on, even if the shape is not perfect, I mean, this gives a lot of weak points to create problems for black, right? So I would still push at one. I don't know if it's the best move, but I still think that's a good option for white to push and to try to get Sente. Anyway, in the game, white plays there saying, I don't mind you being thick because I got Sente. I think at this stage, black got a good result. So, okay, so black goes high to try to go to the center. And you can see white strategy is super clear. He's taking Sente every time. So he's trying to get Sente in the corners to be the first to come and reduce the influence. And also this stone is high because at this stage, if white takes more territory, it will become really hard for white to do anything against the influence of black. So I don't know what's the best way for black to do that. Maybe something fancy like that, or maybe just something like that. It's simple enough. So anyway, so in the game, white goes for Sente and play a move here. I think white could play high just because you know, it brings some more friends to the center, and you can be nearly sure at some point white will probably have to end up reducing. So the higher the friends, the easier, because here there is a risk that black can, you know, play this kind of sequence and just create more thickness. Not now, of course, but in the when I say not now, so black goes for it straight away with a Boshi. So I think that's perfectly doable. I don't know what to think of the Boshi compared to the move I was showing. So let me first rearrange my windows. So I would say I would even wonder if black cannot invade to try to use the thickness straight away, but I guess white can even sacrifice the stone and go in the center. So maybe invading is too high, and maybe the reason black doesn't go for that is that it actually doesn't close the center. So in a way, that's probably a good idea for black not to go for the shoulder hit. And if black want to go for the center, the Boshi seems good. I wonder though if a move around here is not even bigger, but at least the Boshi is completely consistent. It's really Takemiya style, to be honest, at this stage. Black is completely giving up on territory and going for a full center, a deep valley of black stones, and trying to make sure white is limited to the side and have to jump in basically. White stays super solid, so that seems a good idea. Of course, white could go the other way around. That might be a bit submissive. And that would give a good follow-up in the future for black. But even this move is reasonable, but this move gives more leeway into the Moyo. I think black just can answer this way. It would be very consistent with what he played up to now. At least I would play this way, because if white comes here, well, either you can go on with your strategy, or you can say, okay, I've got enough, and try to enclose the center. Or finally, you could go for the side last big point and say, okay, white, now you have to come in. So I think all these strategies are possible, but I think a stone at one is absolutely needed, because if you let white, whatever you do, like if you let white play this, your whole strategy falls apart. And particularly K15 just by itself doesn't do anything. You need to get a connection from it to your central strength, otherwise it doesn't work. So okay, well, black goes for an attack. Basically, he wants to try to surround the white stones on the right and attack. But first, it's very difficult to attack with a tsuke, because it will give opportunity to white to stabilize easily. And secondly, the shape on the left is super strong. The four white stone on the left are very strong. So that seems to me a bit premature. Like I would prefer to go first for the Boshi, and if white plays elsewhere, maybe then you can try an attack or something. Like, because right now, even if just white plays this way, I'm not sure what you have achieved. Like, it's not like white will die, and I mean white can maybe even do that. And oh, that's what happened in the game. So yeah. So you can see white is stronger than black nearly in the area. So except that black has a nice wall on the right, the attack is, I mean, it's okay to push white against your strength if one, you're going to do something with it, to gain something from the attack, and two, if your strength is strong enough to build some points. But here I would be a bit worried as black that the attack end up with a wall around K14, K13, something like that, and that I wouldn't know what to do with it, because there is this white stone at F16, and so the direction of the attack and the direction of play is not easy to use. So I think white is playing very well there, trying to get for a good shape and going into the center. So this move seems a bit suspicious, because it's too strong around. The group on the left is too strong. If the group on the left was weaker, of course, you could use the strength to attack it, but I don't see the C18 stone dying. So okay, let's see how it develops. Yeah, so black really wants to go for the attack on the left, it seems. Otherwise, these four stones are basically doing nothing. Yeah, so I think white is ahead now, because if you look at these five stones, their main benefit is that they broke this territory from white, which was only 9 points. And in the meantime, white played these five stones, which basically broke this whole area, which is much bigger in a way. So if we assume they are both breaking some points, obviously black broke less than white. So I think white took the lead during this attack. And black consistently tried to attack these stones now, which makes sense. But the shape is too strong, like it cannot die. Ooh. White even takes time to play this, which is basically doing a tenuki against the left group, or more exactly threatening to connect. But yeah, maybe white could just go out, or if you want to, yeah, I think white could just go out basically because this black group is not so strong. So of course black can then play this kind of stuff later on. But I mean, right now I don't see any emergency for white to play this move. It looks, I mean, white probably wants to remove the eye from black, but yeah, this move is painful. Okay, so black is going for the kill. And when I say the kill, I mean at least trying to kill. So what happens here? So of course this would look to make an eye, but there is no eye. I'm just trying to see if there is something that can be done here. But no, I don't see anything. And of course, if black plays here, well, black can play here, but can it really work? I mean, you can play here. No. Okay, so well, in a way, black got his attack. He wanted an attack, so he got it. But in the meantime, the black group in the middle is also going weaker. So now black really needs to get something because white played 1, 2, 3, destroying the whole center. So black needs to not kill maybe, but at least build a lot of points on the left during the chase. So let's see if he does that. Okay, so white plays that, and black goes for a ko. Wow, black is really trying to kill. I don't know what's the benefit of the ko compared to this. I'm not sure this is a real benefit because well, obviously this doesn't threaten to do anything specific, but yeah, it's, I don't know. Okay, maybe the ko is good. It probably protects from a few things. Anyway, I don't think this Atari was absolutely needed, but I think white want also to make sure black doesn't have an eye, so he's playing this way. And now the chasing race starts. So we have one group, two group, three group, four groups running. Black group on the left is quite safe, I would say, and the idea for black is to build on the left, and white has two running group and black one, but the two running group from white are not so weak, right? It's like at any point white can play, let's say, white can play here, and if black wants to kill, he has to play here, and so that leaves a lot of possibilities for actually one variation I didn't really check out was this one, something like that, which can be super painful at some point. So yeah, black has to worry about that, and if black plays this, of course you can still try to continue killing, but that looks suspicious. So I wonder if as white, actually it's black turn. Okay, so black plays there, but okay, so black plays strange shape. So I guess the idea is that there is a cut maybe to protect against. So this cut, is it really a cut? No, you can't. So I'm not sure where is the cut here. Maybe this, yeah, this should looks better. Something like that. So I guess what black want to avoid this kind of sequence. And he was preparing for his own cut. Okay. Okay, they are going all in. So let's remember that any move around here, for example, would threaten to leave locally. So I don't think black can really kill at all, but probably if something like that happened, black would be super happy. because he would be safe and connected, and he would have built strengths on the left, so in a way that would balance for the points he lost on the right. So I guess that's the idea of this move. Um, okay, but white goes this way. So I think that's a good exchange for black because he kind of made this move very easy to do now. So I guess that was a big benefit for black. So I'm not sure about this Hane. Actually, I wonder if just playing it now before exchanging anything to know what happened. Wait, well, maybe black will just sacrifice, but there is so much edgy still. Black has to add a move, and he would allow white to play elsewhere. Whereas if what can black do? Yeah, something like that. Yeah, maybe that's too nice. Can white play this? No, it's not really. So I guess this black move is working quite fine. So probably this jump was a bit too much. I wonder if, I mean, in a way, this threatened to leave already. So black nearly has to play this, and then you can really play easy move like that. And now you can jump easily, or even maybe a bit further away. So probably this was okay for white. Maybe this move was a bit too much, and black is playing well here to make sure white is getting no second eye. Oh, this Atari. Yeah, so everybody is looking at everybody's shape, just looking to see if this would. Yeah, it's difficult for black to fight against that. Okay, so he plays the Atari. Oh, okay, maybe this is a pity here. Can black play something else? I thought the aim of the Atari was to not have to add a move, so if you have to add a move, it's a bit of a pity. What if black just play here? What can white do? I mean, it's not like there is anything, right? So black played this way. Okay, there is an eye maybe. Yeah, so white would leave. So I guess black really wants white not to leave, but the shape is terrible, really. Like it, you have two bad shape. You have an empty triangle here, and you have uh, torn Toby here. So two bad shape in a row. So just this probably means there is a bad result for black here. So I'm not sure because he plays from the left and then he plays from the right and white can still go out. So the only benefit from the whole sequence is that this move can be played peacefully now. So is it enough a compensation for the bad shape? I don't think so because the black group in the middle is really weak. So maybe that's a problem with this move now. So I think the Atari is okay, but then black needs to play something else, like maybe just, you know, play this. And then maybe this then. It looks ugly shape, but at least you have Sente then. Because, okay, so what happened in the game? So black connects, white goes out. Yeah. There is something going wrong in black strategy right now because if you look at all the stones black played, so I will mark all the stones, all the probably the 15 last moves from black. They don't seem to be doing much, right? The only stone that looks to be doing something is 1. And in the meantime, white is playing 2, which is reducing black on the side. He could play 3, 4, 5, which is definitely reducing the potential for black in the center. And technically, there is even a bit of point here near 6, 7. So yeah, not the best results at this stage. So white played the shoulder hit, and black goes back to the attack on the other side. Okay. Yeah, this I don't see black in a position to attack this white too heavily now, because I guess at some point white just play there and is probably alive. So there is really, and I mean, this stone here can be captured anytime. White can go in the center. So really no good choice for black. Okay, so no black is taking finally some profit from the attack. I wonder if white could not, I mean, let's remember that at any point there is this, and then I guess it's quite easy to get some shape in the center. So I wonder if white could not block here. Of course, it's a bit dangerous, but yeah, maybe it's too dangerous. Okay. It's tempting though to not answer this, but I find that maybe white is following black too. Okay, so white is playing super solidly, but the idea is clear. There is still a weak group for black in the center, so in a way that makes sense. Okay, so this black move, not sure I get it, because again, what will black gain for that? So I think at this stage I would go back to this. To be honest, that in this position it's not easy to know what to play as black, because you have this weak group at 1. You would like to develop this area at 2, but there is no easy way to do that and not affect the black group at 1. So maybe in fact the best area would be to take some points. You have to restore the points balance to make sure you are at least slightly ahead in territory, so that white has to do something, because at this stage I think as white I would play that. Will you die here? Or maybe first oh, that's white what played, and Tenuki maybe, because I don't see white dying here. So this move is dangerous because of this kind of things. So what can you do as black to remove the eye? Not so much, right? Can you try that? You cannot escape, so no, not easy to know what to do really. So I think it's if white can read that he is alive, then taking the points is massive. Like, oh, and he does that. Okay, so yeah, I think this move was a mistake, because it's not Sante basically. It has to be proven yet, but if white is alive, black is in big trouble, because now white is nearly ahead in territory also. We have like nearly 18, 20 points in the bottom left. So let's say 18, 10 points here, 28, and 8, 36. Let's say 4 or 5 more points, 41, 47 points. And black gets 15 points here, so he must make 30 points on the left plus center. Okay, that's still doable, but it's open here. It's difficult to enclose here. There is no real attack on the white group, plus you have a weak group here. So, well, this group is not weak anymore, because I guess, well, not completely weak, because if the white group gets completely surrounded, it becomes very difficult to make sure you're alive. So, but still, I think white took the lead at this stage. Okay, so black tries to go for this, the second attack. The problem, as we said, is this move, it doesn't take any points, only 4 or 5 points. and it destroys even more the central territory, and there is still a white group, so weak group for black. Oh, white goes for that. Oh, and black answers. Okay. So I think there is an opportunity here for black. Like you have to try something. It looks difficult, but that seems like the only chance, because then whatever happens, you can try to, attack the other group, and I don't know, something like that. But you have to try, because I was expecting white to play something like that simple. I mean, if we just said that black needs 30 points, and we less and less see how black can make 30 points. But with this move, there is an opportunity to try and cut the stone, and it's not so easy for white to connect it, I think. But playing there now, well, I would just, connect and take the points. So white is a bit worried. So I'm not sure what R12 is about, really. Because if you do the other way around, like this and this, you won't play here, right? So you will play here. So I think R12 is a mistake, because it gives black the opportunity to cut. But if black doesn't cut, then it becomes a good move again, but you have to connect it. I mean, even if you play this and this and this and this, you can play elsewhere now. So, and you have reduced the territory. So, but even that, I think, is maybe less good than the simple monkey jump, or this move, like something like that. So yeah, I think this is a mistake, and even more once black takes the point. So suddenly black makes, I mean, of course, there is maybe a bit of edgy here, but not so easy to handle, because you can always play that, and then good luck if you die, then you die big. So let's consider this as point. In a way, black makes up, yeah, 20 points on the right hand side. So that's not small. Let's say this, and this probably is the best strategy for white now to reduce this central power. So what happened in the game? Okay, white plays that before the honey, and we have catch up with the game. Okay, so I would say slowly the game is getting a bit more even. I think white took a big lead when he played. Well, white took the lead early in the Fuzuki because of black, I think, mistake of direction here with this move, and then the attack here, which didn't bring much profit, and then played this slow move, which allowed this this stone at one. Sorry. So I have the feeling white took a big lead there, but in a 3 or 4 move, white helped black to consolidate plenty of points of territory. So I still think black is behind, but a bit less. Okay, let's move on to the next game, which is, let me put the name on, Peter Casco versus Gavin Rooney. So actually, I will just change the review, and I will leave the other board on the left so we can see what happens. Okay, I think the stream might have frozen.